What's up, everybody? Jason from Toadstool Gardens, and today I am going to be showing you how I isolate my pepper flowers, my plants, to prevent cross-pollination. Now, this is the way I prefer to. I like to use these 8x4 mesh wedding favor bags. They work excellent. Very reasonably priced on Amazon or eBay. Alright, so you want to start looking for a branch that has some buds on it that look like little balloons. That means they're going to open soon. Now, you do not want to use flowers that are already open, because there's always a chance those have already been cross-pollinated by an insect. Now, I grow all my seed plants inside my greenhouse. It's closed most of the time, but I also bag my flowers for the less likelihood of them cross-pollinating. Alright, we're going to start right here on this peach lynx tail. Alright, we're going to start with this peach lynx tail JS. And you can see there's a whole bunch of buds right here ready to go. So I just want to keep a couple of those more dominant ones. Trim these leaves up right to the point where they come to the stem, because the stems, when they stick out like this will provide a little added protection for those flowers after they're in the bag, in case you get wind or something. Now this one, there's a couple of smaller buds back here. I'm going to pop those off right there too. Okay, that looks pretty good. We got a nice clean stem. I'm going to go ahead and grab our pollination bag. Sink him right up on there. Now, after you got the bag on, kind of reposition it so the less likelihood of those flower buds breaking off. If there's a big gust of wind, that bag, you know, it could hit those flowers pretty good and break them right off. Now, you will get some flower drop. Yeah, you can see right here all the flowers that have not become pollinated and have fallen off. They'll be at the bottom of the bag. There's a nice Rapture JS growing in there. Alright, so we're going to go over here. Look at this yellow Ripsaw. Looks like there's a couple we could easily do right there. Alright, found a couple good candidates right here. I'm going to go ahead and pinch that leaf right when it comes down to where the stem starts, because that stem's going to be added protection on those flower buds. Now you can see this flower right here is already shriveled up. That means this thing's already been pollinated. You can see the tiny little pepper inside there. But we're going to get rid of him because he's already pollinated. And this whole little block, I think we're going to get rid of too. We're going to leave this nice one and this slightly smaller one on this one. So you can see just below it right here, this little guy has already been pollinated. There's a little pepper on there. Take off those tiny little buds. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and grab our bag. Gently put it on there. Tighten it up. That's looking good right there. Plenty of airflow. Bag's not touching the flower. Now here is a good example of a bunch of bagged stems that didn't have an outcome. All the flowers eventually dropped. So what I did is I took the bags off, and now they're starting to regrow leaves. Make sure you take all the dead, but you can also see all the successful ones. They're usually ones that are too big, peppers that are too big to get into the bag, or just leave them. You know, like for instance, I got a little purple UFO cross right here. But I will just take a piece of painter's tape, and everything that's marked with a blue piece of painter's tape is all peppers that have been isolated already and have already come out of the bag. Okay, here is a good example on these lemon spice jalapenos of bagged flowers that the leaves have actually grown faster than the flower buds. So keep track of these. You're going to go in and you're going to break off all these leaves that have come out of nowhere. Well, these flowers were in the isolation bags. Go ahead and pinch all those right off. I can see these are all in still good shape. So we're going to give the bag a little shake. Take them leaves off, and we will bag it right back up. Same bag, same position. A lot of those will be completely pollinated in the next 2 weeks. And do the same thing on this one right below it. The leaves have set in. Now it looks like we have a pollinated pepper right here. You see the little guy right in there? So we're going to just go ahead and take the leaves off right around this guy. And put the bag back on until he's a little bit bigger. And then that one also, once it's a good ½ inch or so, I'll take the bag off and I'll mark it with painter's tape like the last one. And we'll go ahead and do this one too, because I see a whole bunch of flower stems on the bottom. Oh, it looks like we got a pretty decent sized pepper in that one. Oh yeah. Looks like we got a couple pollinated ones too. So we're gonna pop those leaves off on this one up here and not recover the whole thing, because there are no other flowers on this stem at all, or this one. So we're just gonna leave those out of the bag and let it grow. I can see right here, that's a pretty good sized pepper right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rebag the one bud right here that, see, the flower is dying back, but the stem is in great shape, so that means it's most likely pollinated. Give it some room. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab a small little piece of painter's tape. You can use masking tape too. I like the painter's tape because I can see the blue a little bit better when I'm looking through all my plants. Now you don't need a ton, just enough to mark it. There we go. Now he's marked. Alright, so we're going to do one on this Jacaroca JS Habanero. You can see all these buds under here. So since I have a ton of these plants, this one is going to get cut back pretty good. Now that's a ton of buds just for one bag, so I'm definitely going to pop this whole entire piece off up on top. And you can see the stability in these stems will help hold that bag right in place. Careful of those buds. Pull it down, pull her tight. Okay, so on this next one, I'm going to show you how to do 7-pot bubblegum varieties. You can see right here, These flowers right here, it may not look like it, but they are already pollinated. See, like this right here, that is considered open on a 7-pot bubblegum variety. That's really all the more they open, so that's why it's kind of difficult to judge on these guys. Like, you can see this grouping right here, the one is open and there's a whole bunch of other ones that are still closed. This is what you want to look for when you're bagging 7-pot bubblegum flowers. Any variety that has the bleeding silex that goes, you know, it changes color, you don't want to bag them after they're already open. Like, this is considered open, so don't bag after they're open. You want to look for this right here where they're still closed. Okay, so you can see this one right here is open, so we're just gonna go ahead, pop that guy right off. You can see these other two and this one, these look pretty good. So we're gonna start by popping these leaves and extra stems off. Extra buds. There we go, that's looking pretty good. Take our bag, put it right over the top, draw it in, and that looks pretty good. There, that'll be good. Now you can see a few that have dropped on this one. See, these are loose inside the bag. And I don't see any more on there. So just go ahead and pull that one off. And there are not really any more buds on that stem, so we're just gonna leave him grow. So that guy's all full of flowers. It's definitely a little more difficult to tell on the bubblegum varieties. Oh man, those are so cool. These are bleeding jigsaw right here. I love how that green stem will just bleed orange once these are ready to go. Alright, well there you have it. That's how I isolate all my pepper varieties. So if you learned something, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and check out all my videos. And as always, have a good one. Happy growing.